Okay, I want to do a writing piece, but I'm not exactly sure what I want to write about yet. And instead of me just lollygagging and procrastinating, I decided that I wanted to pull some tarot cards to draw inspiration, to draw in ideas for the next writing piece. The only thing is that I want to take you along the journey of doing that with me. So I do have some cards that are already laid out on the desk or on the altar, and we're going to be using that. I, again, don't know exactly what this writing piece is going to be about because I don't know what I want to write about. And I really just want to keep my heart, my mind, my soul open to receiving whatever messages that come through. The only thing is that I will say is that I'm pretty sure that it's going to have something to do with either emotional stability, because the King of Cups has been coming up a lot in our readings, but also one of the main themes that came up about, I want to say a few days ago, was there's always another way. And that was something that came through as I was just kind of completing my mundane task for the day, which was again like a few days ago. And so I feel like that's really just going to be the energy that's going to permeate throughout Sagittarius season. For those of you that don't know me, my name is Nuna. I am the poet, the seer, the writer, the witch, the keeper of the archives, as well as the founder of the Saiyonan Etherium. The Etherium is essentially an apothecary. I renamed it because I'm a little bit of a rule breaker. I renamed it to the Etherium because I like the name and it sounds very ethereal, of course. But essentially what that is it's an apothecary where I handcraft different types of spiritual essentials to help you work your magic for manifestation, healing, the expansion of your consciousness, all on the path of remembrance. Also, I do feel like it is so unique to what I have going on here. I don't know very many people who do merge the arts of poetry and magic, although I am absolutely sure that there are people out there doing it. However, I know that it's a very vital, essential part of the space of the Saiyonan archives, right? And again, yes, so a little bit about me for those of you that don't know. Not only do I do tarot readings and astrological insights or give you astrological insights, but I really do love writing. I really do love poetry. That is where my heart, my soul dwells the most. That is where I feel the most expansive. And that is where I really do feel like I can capture the multidimensionality of my gifts and my talents, right? And I really do want you all to get used to the fact that I am a writer, that I am a poet, and that I do like using poetry as a medium to relay messages to you guys, right? So thank you so much for coming onto this YouTube channel. Thank you so much for just kind of being here and trusting me. I know that I'm getting things worked out right now. It's been a little difficult because I don't know what I'm doing and I'm just kind of trying, I'm doing what I can, but I also really do want to have a truthful and honest, transparent, and a very authentic growing process with you. So yes, I really do want us to go throughout this process together. Enough about that. I want to go ahead and get into the reading. Make sure that you leave me a comment down in the comment section when you receive the messages that you need, or at least give me your favorite emoji or whatnot. Introduce yourself down in the comment section if you would like. I really do want to get to know you. While we do have a very small crowd, there's not very many people who do comment on our posts, and I really want to get to know the OGs that have been here since the beginning. Also, for those of y'all that don't know this, I started over at Magic of Eden on YouTube. That was years ago, and a lot of my work actually happened years before I even came on YouTube, right? So we're talking like well over 10 years. I've been doing this for a long time. I'm still getting used to doing things on camera, even though I started back, I think I want to say in 2020. I think it was like when I started to do things on YouTube, and then I ended up switching over here at the Saiyonan archives because Magic of Eden just simply was not working for me over there. That's a long story. I don't really want to talk about that. But even though you don't see very many subscribers or Soul Tribe members that haven't reached us yet, doesn't mean that I haven't been doing this. I've been doing this. I'm just now getting used to being consistent here on YouTube and really getting myself out there to show my work. And I know that this is going to be a growing process, and I'm really excited to do that with you. For one, because I've never really grown with an actual audience before, and I'm really interested to see how far I can take this. And also, I really do want to give the best of gifts and talents that I do have and just do what I love to do, just with my whole heart, with my whole being, right? With everything in me, so that I can help the collective consciousness expand. And I feel like it is a duty, it is an honor, it is a joy and a pleasure to be doing this with you. So yes, thank you so much for coming on to this space or coming into this space. I do hope that you feel welcome. I do hope that you enjoyed the readings that you saw so far. I do hope that you guys decide to also subscribe to me on Substack, because I'm going to be doing a lot more writing over there. I feel like I'm a better writer than I am speaker. So I would prefer you guys go, well, not prefer, but I really would love for y'all to go over there on Substack so that y'all can read some things that I have on there to get kind of a taste of my work and things like that. I also feel like I want to do a lot more. I want to get into actually performing and putting myself out there when it comes to reciting my poetry and things like that. I don't know what I'm doing. I've only performed like once and I nailed it. Like the first time, it was like years ago. Let me know if you want to hear about that experience down in the comment section. But anyway, I only performed, right, like one time and I did really well, but I was scared shitless. And so now I'm in this space where I'm like, okay, can we try to do more of that, right? Because a lot of our poetry, or a lot of the poetry that I write, sounds really good when you speak it or when you perform it. And I really do want to get deeper into that, but I want to slowly get there, right? Which is the reason why I'm starting this space and really getting myself used to sharing these things with you. And I really hope that you enjoy them. And if you don't, that's fine. It may not be your flavor. Maybe you're here for the readings and that's fine. Or maybe you're only here for the writing and the poetry. Who knows? I don't really know. Let me know why you're here down in the comment section. What drew you to this channel? What are you liking about the channel so far? I know that we have a lot to do. I know that we have a lot of growing to do. So be kind to me down there in the comments, y'all. Be kind to me in the comments, please. Anyways, I really do hope that you again enjoy this process, and I'm gonna stop rambling and I'm gonna go ahead and get into the reading. I'm going to make sure to link everything down in the description box below so that you can find these decks to use them yourself if you'd like. Also, just a quick warning, I do have children, and of course they're awake because it's not bedtime yet. So you're more than likely going to hear, you're going to hear my 4-year-old. Thank you so much, Divine, for being with us right now. Thank you so much for protecting us. Thank you so much for helping us to see things through. I ask that you please protect me as the one who was doing the reading for the collective. Thank you so much for the Saiyonan collective that I am building currently with your divine instruction. Thank you so much for allowing them to choose me. I have to go get a card. This is the card that decided to come out first, even during prayer time. So we're going to leave that out on the table. And thank you so much, Spirit, for just allowing me to fellowship and dwell with my soul tribe. Please give any messages that we need. Give me any messages that our collective needs to hear at the moment. Thank you so much for this opportunity to do better, to be better, to live better, to receive better, to embody better. Please gift me with the attitude of servitude. Thank you for helping me to leave my own messages out of this reading and just give the collective what they need. It is so. So essentially, one of the things that is on my mind right now is the fact that I believe Mars is currently in the sign of Sagittarius, and there have been so many messages that have been coming through recently, and wow, retribution is something that's been coming through, something that actually came through last night. And lately I've been really deeply focused on teaching my kids how to redirect their energy and also redirecting my own energy. And the fact that Mars is in Sag if I'm not mistaken. I believe Mars is in Sag. I have to triple check the transits. Mars in Sagittarius has free room to exert its fire, and it has free room to just simply be itself, take initiative, but also, I just heard like reestablish, but it also has room to just be what it is without shame, because Sagittarius teaches Mars how to utilize the energy in a way that's productive. And I feel like it's one of those things where we have the Queen of Wands here up in reverse. It's one of those things where Mars realizes, okay, so I can be fiery, I can be initiative, I can be ambitious, but for the right causes, because Sagittarius is linked to the guru, at least for me. Sagittarius for me is linked to the gurus, it's linked to Buddhas, it's linked to monks, it's linked to all those who are on the search for higher truth. And I feel like you don't even have to be that energy to embody that. It's just an energetic thread. It's just the frequency. And so the reason why I'm saying that is because, again, the theme has been centered around finding another way. And I feel like we're all in a space where we're finding another way. And with us finding that other way, or allowing ourselves to open up to this other way, that's where we can receive redemption. That's where we can allow ourselves to receive retribution. And it's really just about being ourselves, but this time, instead of us being reckless, we allow ourselves to just do it from a higher perspective, from a higher way. And that's another reason why I like to work with the divine wisdom candle, which you see burning here, because this candle really does help you to find wisdom, and it helps you to tap into the wisdom that we all have, that reservoir of divine knowing that we all have access to. And I feel like those have been the messages that have been coming through a lot recently. So I'm not sure if it's going to bleed into this reading. However, it may. So we're just going to go ahead and continue moving on, because again, as stated, we are in a space where we're pulling messages from this tarot reading, and whatever it is that comes through that I feel that's going to be needed for this reading, it's going to be right here in this book. That's the reason why I have it here. And also, the lighting may not be the best right now, and the reason is because, of course, we have longer nights and shorter days these days, and I don't get a lot of adequate lighting in the space that I'm in, so it is going to be different. The first thing that's standing out to me right now is the fact that I had to go chasing this card, which is the Ace of Pentacles. The Ace of Pentacles is an energy where, of course, it's about opportunities, it's about planting seeds, it's about all of those things, right? At the same time, I do feel that the word is exponential, but it's everything that you've planted that you see in full bloom. Whatever that bloom looks like depends on what you've been planting. And that's exactly what the Ace of Pentacles represents to me. Not only does it represent that, it can also represent resources being given. It can also represent the fact that your ancestors could be giving you things. It could be opportunities, it could be things, like heirlooms, or it could be something that is passed down to you to help you with whatever path you're on at the moment, right? So sometimes it does indicate that. What I'm picking up on, though, is that there is an opportunity again for you to make things right if you decided that instead you were going to not act from defensiveness, but you were going to do it with an open heart and open mind, and actually learning from whatever past mistakes. That's what I'm hearing right now. It's learning from those past mistakes. What I'm also hearing is the word release, and it does make sense because the Devil card was at the bottom of the deck, and with the Devil card, it points to it's in reverse, but not only does this point to vices and control and limitation and things like that, it also points to commitment, and it also points to very serious contracts that need or that call for you to to read deeply, right? To read deeply, thoroughly, precisely, and really know what you're getting yourself into. So this to me is a call for someone to, what I'm hearing is to not only explore options, but to also explore what they're doing, why they're doing it. And if this is something that's not allowing them to be deeply committed to it in a way that brings enlightenment, then they want to detach from that. So there is an idea of freedom that's coming up here. And it's interesting because I see the Queen of Wands here in reverse. And this is where the retribution and redemption is coming in, because for someone, they may have not utilize their power in the ways that were needed for not only themselves but others around them. But I also do feel like this Queen of Wands is coming up as someone saying, okay, I learned my lesson. I want this now. I want more of this. And if I have another chance to be in my power, to embrace the mystery, if I have another chance to utilize my power in a way that I can, for the benefit of myself and also for my peers, my family and friends, or whatever it may be, I will gladly take the opportunity and do better moving forward. I do feel here that there again is this idea of retribution. Like, I can't get over the fact that there's this idea of retribution and redemption. Like, I just keep hearing the word redemption, retribution. Like, I just keep hearing it. It's so interesting because, oh, I thought that was a magician. Never mind. Okay. Oh, this card wants to come out. It's the star card that's here, and we have an unidentified card. So redemption has everything to do. It's like when you want to redeem, like you want to redeem yourself. And I feel like it's like someone messed up. Like, we make mistakes, and Spirit is wanting you to know that it's okay for you to make mistakes, but there will be a chance for you to make things right. And there will be a chance for you to start to regrow again. Say, for example, if you're not used to growing squash, right? And you decide that you're going to grow squash in the heat of summer, and you're not sure why when you planted that squash, it started growing, but then it started to kind of, like, you only were able to grow one squash, right? And you're just like, well, why is it not growing? Like, why is it why is it growing this way? Like, why is it not growing? Like, why is it so straggly? Why is it dying? Why is it drying out so easily? Like, why is it not making it? And you realize, oh crap, I planted it during this time, and then I started growing it this time, but I did it in the heat of summer. Like, I did it in the thick of summer, and now it's stopped growing. It halted its growth. But then when you do research, you're like, oh, okay, it was better that I did this during springtime because it's not as hot, it's not so scorching, and I would have yielded a lot more squash, right, than I would have when I did it during this, during summertime. I say that because that's the best example that I can give right now, because that actually happened to me. I ended up growing squash. I think it was like a couple of years back where I did it in spring, and then I did it the following year again, and I did it during summer. And when I did that mess during summer, it did not stick. And I was like, what is wrong? And I realized, wow, it's because of the heat. And that's what my fiance was saying. He was like, well, I think it might be the heat because it is pretty hot. We will be doing it again. I say that because sometimes when you do things, you don't always know. You try your best to do it, and the first time it's intuitive and you're like, oh, I can just do this. And then the next time you're like, wait, why didn't it work? It's okay for you to make mistakes because that's how you learn. And you don't have to feel bad for the mistakes that you've made, right? I guess it really just kind of depends on the mistakes you're making, but at the same time, what Spirit is saying is that it's okay for you to forgive yourself, and there will be a chance for retribution, especially if you're embodying this type of divine feminine energy. You may not have known how to go about the mystery. You may not have known how to adapt to the things that were around you. You may not have known how to wield the power that you have within you in the great beyond, in the great mystery. But now that you learned your lessons, you're like, okay, if I do have another chance to do this right, I'm going to allow myself to do this right. I'm going to do this the right way. And I am choosing to believe and to know that there is another chance for me. I no longer wish to do this in this certain way. I don't want to do this being defensive. I don't want to do this again with my guard up, with attacking before someone else attacks me. I don't want to utilize my energy in that way. What I would rather do is say, I forgive myself for doing this, and I also forgive the other people who may have done things to me that made me feel that I had to be defensive. And I'm no longer doing it that way. I'm choosing now to understand that my legacy does not depend or is not dependent on the things that I've done. And I allow myself to receive retribution for the things that have happened in the past. And not only that, this also does not just have to do with what you've done to other people. It also has to do with other people have done to you. Say, for example, if you didn't utilize your power, if you didn't stand up for yourself, if you didn't speak your truth, if you kept feeling like your family was against you and you didn't stand up for yourself because you didn't want to deal with the mess, because you didn't want to deal with whatever it came with, this would be your time for retribution and redemption. Because I do feel like with Redemption, it comes with this energy of I'm going to show myself in my full capacity without allowing myself to fall victim to these things anymore. I'm coming back to reclaim my power and to redeem myself because I know that I can do better. It's interesting because when you think about retribution, it's like punishment or reward distributed in a future life based on performance in this one. It's so interesting because I feel like this to me is pointing to whatever the things that happened to you in the past, right? Your past life could mean not just in a literal past life where before you incarnated in this body. What I mean is that your past life could be a past relationship, that whole sector of life. It could have been your childhood. So now in your future moving forward, it's like, I'm going to be repaid for this because I know that I went through this. But retribution doesn't only look like you punishing someone or someone being punished to balance the scales. Sometimes retribution means because I decided to redeem myself, the retribution, the repayment for that is I experienced the best of life. I experienced the wondrous aspects or dimensions of life because I allowed myself to show up better than I did before. So there's this idea of allowing yourself to forgive yourself and others for the mistakes that they've made. And then retribution comes in the form of love. It comes in the form of finances. It comes in the form of legacy. It comes in whatever form that is best for you. It comes in the form of freedom because sometimes retribution is liberation. And I think that sometimes we forget that liberation is the best thing that we could possibly have. It's the freedom. It's liberation. That's the reason why I feel like we have the devil card here in reverse, because it is about freedom. It's about liberation. Retribution in this sense is liberation. I am liberated from the constraints and the refines of my past. Because this dealing with Capricorn, it definitely deals with Saturn because Capricorns were by Saturn. And so Saturn does govern the past because Saturn is a father of time. So having said that, this is the energy where it's like, because these things happened in the past, I'm going to redeem myself. And retribution looks like me being liberated from these things that have happened before. And that's essentially the energy that I'm picking up on. I do feel the fact that you do have the Ace of Wands here with the Fool card. This is the energy where you allow yourself to explore your passions. You allow yourself to explore the great beyond. But this time, the way that you're doing it is you're redirecting the fire. You're redirecting the anger. You're redirecting the angst. You're redirecting the lust or the sexual passions or, the sinful desires, right? You're allowing yourself to use that energy for something far more expansive. Like you're using it in a way where it's more controlled, but in a way that helps you and not in a way that forces you to lose yourself. Because I feel like someone is finding themselves in the midst of the fire. They're finding themselves coming back to life. Like I feel like a spark. It's like someone's coming back to life after a long life of drought, of misfortune. Right? There's so many things. Like retribution for you looks like your finances coming back. It looks like I don't know why I just keep hearing forgiveness. We still have not touched on this card. Look at that. The Knight of Wands. Exactly. It's this energy of retribution and redemption. The Knight of Wands is like, I'm coming up, I'm showing up, and I'm not giving up. Like, I'm not going to give up. Like, there is nothing that's going to happen to me that's going to make me give up. And I know that I have the power and the will, and I'm going to do it. But this time I'm going to do it from a space of higher wisdom. I learned my lessons. I'm not giving up, and I deserve another chance. I deserve a second chance. Someone here is receiving a second chance. That's the reason why the energy is the way that it was. I'm sticking to that because at the end of the day, people deserve chances, right? We deserve second chances. I can't speak for everybody, but what I can do is I can speak for the energy that is present during this moment as you and I are in this dynamic, that as we're in this energy, right? And I feel truly like someone is like, I'm not giving up. Like, I'm just not going to. I deserve another chance and I'm going to take it. And whether you are allowing me that chance or not, I respect that, but I'm not going to do this same thing into the other life. Because in my future life, I refuse to do the same thing that I did in this one, because at that point, I'm asking for destruction. I'm asking to be miserable, and I don't want to be miserable. This is so far beyond faith and hope. This has everything to do with the fact that you are actively choosing to follow higher wisdom. This points to your North Node. Someone's purpose is activated here, and you're not allowing yourself to deviate away from that. And I don't blame you. I'm so proud of you, and I'm happy for you that you're giving yourself another chance. You are giving yourself another chance. So what are we pulling from this? What are we pulling? This is what I need to write this down real quick, because if I don't, then I'm going to end up forgetting. And let's not forget. So we're going to write these ideas down. I don't know exactly yet if we're going to turn this into a poem, but I do feel like it's going to be a poem. So I feel like what we're going to do is we're going to do this into a poem form, and we're going to do like a short essay or something like that. And these are the cards that I'm going to use as inspiration. To be honest, I'm just so proud of whoever decided that they were going to allow themselves to keep going. Exactly. The 10 of Wands here is, in order for you to receive retribution and redemption, you have to be willing to let go. You have to be willing to allow these things to be what they were and just let them go and let them be without holding on to them. Someone feels guilty about something. Like, there's this idea of guilt that's coming through with this reading. And I feel like we need to write that down. Like, there's something about guilt or feeling guilty for the mistakes that someone's made, and them just feeling like, I don't know why, it's like someone feels like they're just a terrible person. Sweetie, you're not a terrible person. Right? Like, chances are, if you're here, you are not a terrible person. Like, I don't want to judge that at all. What I will say is that the guilt, I need to write this down. Guilt, letting go, and releasing. Let's put poem and essay. All right. Oh, I just heard Spirit say a teachable moment. So this is where I have to write. Whatever I'm writing, I'm going to have to make it into a teachable moment. Oh, I just heard storytelling. Oh my goodness. This is really going to be like, I'm going to have to put myself out there and then like do it in the form of like storytelling in a creative way. So I feel like this is going to lead to something in the future, obviously. So I'm going to do a poem and an essay. So what this means to me is that this is definitely, again, it's going to be storytelling, but it's wow, I know exactly what I'm going to talk about. I feel like I'm going to tell you guys more about how I did not always follow my intuition. And because I didn't always follow my intuition, I ended up in a space that I did not want to be in. And because of that, I faced embarrassment. I faced like humiliation and things like that. It was just like so many things that happened. So I have to use myself as an example to do this. And I'm not mad at that, because there were several opportunities, right? For me to redeem myself, and I took it. And now I feel like I'm in a space where I absolutely do not regret it. Like, it's the best thing that I ever could have done. And now the retribution looked like my life just being better, right? I'm hoping that I'm using retribution in the right way, but that's the best way that I can think of it. And it says retribution, punishment administered in return for a wrong committed. And then it says punishment or reward distributed in a future life based on performance in this one. And it's so interesting because I feel like when we hear the word retribution, there's usually like this negative connotation to it. But I'm not picking up on the negative connotation to it. I'm picking up on the reward. It feels a lot more rewarding than it does punishing. And I do feel like there's that contrast. Wow. Okay. So there's another writing point. So the contrast of positive and negative retribution. Oh, that is so good. That is so good. Wow. I love how these ideas just like come to life. Like, I just love how they come to life. Like, you pull ideas and messages from from the reading, and then you write them down and you put them into a poem, into like a writing piece. It's so good. Like, it's so good. It is so good. All right, so let's go ahead and close this out for a second. I'm probably going to be doing a lot more of this in another reading, obviously in future readings, but let's go ahead and continue. Wow, I love that. I love it. That's so good. Okay, let me pull from this card because the lighting situation is wow. And look at the first card that's at the bottom of the deck. Exactly. We have the, I'm gonna leave this out. What? I did not know that this was like that. I did not know that this was like that. You have move forward, and then you also have letting go. And one more. Go with the flow. You're not forcing the energy, right? Communication. And then you have go with the flow. It's interesting that these are coming out because I feel like instead of you forcing things or forcing things to fit a certain way, forcing things to be a certain way, I feel like now you're learning how to communicate more clearly, how to communicate the things that you need, how to communicate the things that you want, how to communicate and ask if someone else needs anything, if you can be there for them, right? Like, how can you make things right? And I feel like at this point, you're like, okay, instead of me forcing it, and Spirit is saying, don't beg. Like, Spirit is like clearly telling you, don't beg. Like, there's no need for you to beg. If anything, go with the flow. If the flow states, or if the flow is, it's heavy, it's tumultuous, it's crashing into itself, the water is constantly crashing in and out of itself, we can't beat the ocean into a fish tank, right? Like, we can't put the ocean there. Let the ocean be the ocean. Let the fish tank be the fish tank, right? So I feel like in that instance, it's Spirit saying is that this is going to be what it is. Go with it. Surrender to whatever is happening, but you don't have to allow yourself to be consumed by that. Go with the flow. Allow things to be what they are. Be what you are, right? You embody the highest version of yourself that you possibly can, given the tools and the resources that you have. And remember, you are the greatest source of power that you could ever come across. And now that you know that, you can move forward in full confidence, knowing that things are getting better, that they will be better, and that they are better. Because you have the power to affirm that. That's the reason why you have communication here. Communicate with yourself in a different way and see just how much this reality is going to change for you. Retribution looks like liberation, love, honor, joy, passion, play, jovialness. That's what retribution looks like to you or for you at this time. And in whatever other ways are appropriate for your situation. Redemption. Spirit is saying to sit with the word redemption. How are you choosing to redeem yourself from the power that you lost, from the power you gave away, from moments where you overpowered others or you didn't need to? It goes both ways because we're all here to learn, and we've all been the victim, or we've been the victim, and also we've been the bull. Like, I guess what is the word I'm looking for? I can't find it. Why can't I find the word? Villain. There you go. We've been the villain in someone's story. We've been the victim and the villain in someone's story. But how can we redeem ourselves and receive retribution from those moments? And it doesn't always have to look like suffering. That is the other way.